Hi YouTubers, and welcome to Can't Cook with Jason. Today we're going to make a very popular Southeast Asian street food called clay pot rice. The rice is cooked together with marinated chicken, Chinese sausage and mushrooms, all in a single clay pot, so it steams and locks in the flavour which is absorbed by the rice. To start with, let's make the marinade for the chicken. Add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of corn flour. Then slowly mix and stir well until the flour is fully incorporated. I'm going to use chicken thighs as these are much cheaper and provide much more flavour than breast, but you can use either. Trim off any excess fat and then cut the chicken into fairly small pieces as you want the chicken to be able to cook fairly quickly. Once the chicken is cut, add it to the marinade, mix well so each piece is coated in that lovely marinade and then set aside. Clay pot is not clay pot without Chinese sausage or lap tiong. This dry and knobbly looking sausage is absolutely jam-packed full of flavour, a sort of sweet savoury taste which is impossible to replicate with anything else I've come across. You want to slice this really thinly so it cooks well but also releases its flavour into the rice by maximising surface area. Another flavour booster is shiitake mushrooms. These have been soaked in hot water for a few hours so they become nice and soft. Again, you can find these in most decent Chinese supermarkets and they keep really well in the fridge. Don't throw away the water that you use to soak the mushrooms in, as this is a vegetarian dashi and adds great umami depth to any dish. We're going to add this to the rice later on, so put it to one side for now. Carefully remove the stalks from each mushroom, as these tend to remain fairly rubbery. Then slice each mushroom thinly, roughly into 5 slices per mushroom I find works best. Next, thinly slice 3 to 4 spring onions as garnish to add over the rice at the final stage. Okay, onto the rice. My personal preference is Thai fragrant jasmine rice, which I pretty much use for 90% of my cooking, as the texture and aroma is second to none. We want about 280 grams for a larger clay pot like this, and that should be enough for 3 to 4 people. We need to wash the rice really well until the water runs clear, as this removes the excess starch which can make the rice turn gummy and too sticky. Simply add water and carefully scrub the grains and mix around in the water, and then replace the water each time it becomes cloudy. This next step is 100% not authentic, but I've tried both methods and I can tell you that the difference in flavour is night and day. So my advice is to partially fry the chicken first before adding to the rice. Science tells us that the Maillard reaction creates a rich aroma of flavours, think fried bacon, and I absolutely want that flavour in my rice. So we're not fully cooking the chicken here, we are literally browning and searing the outside for that maximum flavour. It also helps to reduce the cooking time of the chicken, as we don't want our rice to be overcooked or burnt during the process. Just look at all those pan juices and the caramelisation on that chicken. There's no way plain steamed chicken is going to come even close to that. So here is a clay pot. These are ridiculously cheap. I got mine online for about £7 and it's the larger size too. But because this is stoneware, it's susceptible to temperature shock. So I typically soak mine in water for an hour or so before cooking. Add your washed rice to the clay pot and then add 300 millilitres of boiling water, partially made up of that shiitake mushroom soaking water. Carefully pat down the rice to ensure all of the grains are fully submerged in the water. Then put the lid on and set over a low heat to prevent the clay pot from cracking. Check the rice every few minutes to see how it's progressing. After about 50% of the water is absorbed, carefully mix and loosen the rice and then lid back on. Once about 75% of the water is absorbed, it's time to add our chicken, taking care to ensure that it's all evenly laid out and in a single layer so that it steams and cooks properly. Don't forget those precious pan juices, as we don't want to lose any of that flavour. Then evenly sprinkle over the Chinese sausage and then the shiitake mushrooms, and then add the lid back on. Keep it on a low heat, and now to keep it, do not under any circumstance remove that lid for at least 15 minutes. Whilst that cooks, let's make our soy sauce. In a saucepan, add 2 tablespoons of dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and a drizzle of sesame oil. Then slowly heat this up until it starts to simmer, and add about 50 milliliters of water and stir in and slowly simmer. Then add a slice of fresh ginger and continue simmering so the sauce absorbs that flavour. Once the sauce is slightly reduced so it's a little thicker and syrupy, remove from the heat and set aside. This takes about 10 to 15 minutes, which coincidentally is the time it takes for our chicken clay pot rice to be cooked. So moment of truth, let's lift the lid. Ooh, look at all that locked in steam. That is what makes this dish such a beauty. Just look at that. The chicken is perfectly cooked and has leaked its juices into the rice. The smell is phenomenal. Sprinkle over the spring onions that we thinly sliced earlier, and then carefully drizzle over that seasoned soy sauce so it permeates through into the rice. And there we have it, Chinese clay pot rice and chicken. Superb. Okay, thanks for watching everyone. Please subscribe, like the video, and drop me any comments and feedback, and I'll catch you next week for more exciting recipes.